watching KSL News live at 6.
We were sitting next to each other. We just heard an immediate pop. We're like, what's going on here? And then after that pop, we just saw him in his neck. We saw him fall backward, blood shooting out of his neck, hit the floor, and we just had to bolt it out of there.
It was terrifying. None of us knew what was going on.
To whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 6:30. A deadly shooting that is shocking the nation took place right here in Utah after political activist Charlie Kirk was killed. Mike Hedrick continues our team coverage at Utah Valley University. Mike?
Yeah, Deanie, we came inside one of the buildings here, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, didn't we? As police and law enforcement came in on campus, what they did was push everyone out. Now, of course, once the shooting happened, you had a lot of people just taking off on their own. But again, there's a lot of people on campus, like in buildings such as this one, where they didn't know, they didn't hear anything. And so police had to come on here, they had to push people out, and they had to search room by room to make sure that things were clear and that things were safe. And also, along the way, still searching for the shooter in this case. So that's where we are right now as we move from outside into inside here. University, it's closed down until further notice. Classes canceled until Monday. FBI officials telling us the suspect is in custody. That was a short time ago. 15 minutes ago, that all changed. They believe the person of interest, who they thought was the person of interest, he's now out. He has now been released. Video here from witnesses on scene showing what is thought to be the shooter on a roof just before the shooting.
We're devastated by what happened today. This is the police chief's nightmare. This was an open venue. This was outside. We did have 6 officers working that event. We had probably over 3,000 people that were in attendance. It sat down in kind of a bowl area here on the central campus. We have a waterfall area.
Yeah, there's still a lot of questions, as you would imagine, at this point. Our team has been on the ground working to bring you very latest since this shooting happened this afternoon, roughly around 12:30. We're going to start things off this half hour with Dan Rascone. Dan, you were in that media conference where the governor spoke, as well as some other law enforcement officers, but really it was Governor Spencer Cox. He was passionate about what he said, and as I mentioned earlier, he didn't pull any punches.
No, he did not at all. You know, he called this a political assassination as far as what happened right here on UVU. We've been talking about this all afternoon here. Kind of a somber, eerie feeling right now on this campus. Flags at half-staff right here on campus. There should be thousands of students here. This is fall semester. This is a time where students are coming here to be able to further their education. Instead, thousands of students witnessed Charlie Kirk being shot and killed right in front of them. I mean, we interviewed dozens of students. They talked about that horrific event, being able to see something like that, the bullet, hearing the bullet, and then just seeing Charlie drop. Here's what some of the governor had to say in regards to what happened here today.
This is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to 2 young children. He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people. To whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah. In the sound of my voice, celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting. I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American.
And that's Governor Spencer Cox there at that press conference just a couple of hours ago. You said very strong words. Now, at the press conference, they said they had a person of interest in custody. Now we're just learning that apparently that person of interest is no longer in custody. They're still searching for whoever did this, whoever the shooter was. They said there was one bullet, one victim here, and it was intended for Charlie Kirk. They believe the shooter was up on the roof there. We've been seeing a lot of video from students and other things as far as seeing somebody up on the roof. They believe, according to investigators, that somebody possibly was up on that roof, and that's where the shot was fired. They have not said what kind of weapon was used, but in order to be able to shoot from that range, somebody would have had to known how to shoot a rifle or shoot a gun at that point. Now, in regards to everything else that's happening on campus, they're still combing the areas here a little bit, but for the most part, they pretty much locked down every building here, and as we've been mentioning, campus is closed. But as we've been saying all along here, a very sad and somber day here at UVU. Mike, I'll send it back to you.
Dan, thank you very much. And again, this isn't just a local story, as you know. This has received national attention to the nth degree. We have seen it all across the country, and I dare say around the world as well, as a result of this. And I want to mention something that President Trump took to social media here, and this is what he had to say. He said in a social media post, "No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all." Our own Mike Anderson joined us live right now at the state capitol, where Vigil is about to be held, I'd say, within the next hour here. Is that right, Mike?
Yeah, actually within the next half hour out here, we expect to have that vigil underway. People are starting to show up, and I've got actually with me now Colin Apke. He's the president of Turning Point USA, the chapter at Weber State University. And so we were just talking here a bit earlier. You've been following Charlie Kirk for a long time, felt like you needed to get involved. Tough day, but I wonder what has been kind of going through your mind today?
A lot of different emotions. I mean, obviously anger, sadness, grieving, disbelief, shock. How could this happen? Why is this happening? It's just a lot of that going through my mind. How are we going to progress? How are we going to take his legacy and keep it going?
And, you know, his movement, not only that, but free speech, I mean, that's still something in our country that's going to be there. What do you think is sort of, you know, what comes next for us in this tragedy?
I think we need to take a bad situation and turn it into a positive situation. That's hard to think about, so soon. The best thing that we can do is moving forward is continue his legacy, continue fighting for the right things, fighting for freedom of speech, fighting for what's right in life, and just keep that going for Charlie.
Thank you for that. And let's step aside for a second. I want to have just stay with me a second, but I just want to take a look at some of these photos that are starting to set up here as we're getting ready for the vigil. But I just wanted to ask you, I mean, your thoughts of kind of seeing these photos here and realizing that we're having a vigil for Charlie Kirk today.
It's heartbreaking. A lot to process. He was a great man, really good morally strong man. Yeah, I can't imagine his wife, his kids, especially his little babies. I have little babies of my own, and I couldn't imagine leaving them behind and how they feel, and it's very emotionally impacting. I meant for a lot of people, not just myself, but I can't process or put it into words how devastating this is. It's a very big blow to lose such a great man.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. A very tough day to imagine what's happened here. I mean, nobody expected this as we were going into the day. It should have been just another college stop. In fact, Colin mentioned that he was going to be seeing Charlie Kirk at USU, and that stop that was supposed to be coming soon. So people starting to gather here. We'll have the coverage of that vigil here for you, and we'll keep an eye on things as that starts to develop. Mike, back to you.
Okay, looking forward to that. Mike, great coverage up there in Salt Lake City. Thank you very much. Utah House Democratic leader Angela Romero also offering up some of her thoughts after the shooting today.
I agree with Charlie Kirk, but no one deserves to be executed like that, or we still have to find out what happened, but nobody deserves that.
She went on to say here, every student deserves to feel safe on campus regardless of political views. She believes colleges should be a place of learning, of discourse, and of respect. Former President Joe Biden reacting to the shooting today. In a post on X, he says this: there is no place in our country for this kind of violence. It must end now. Jill and I are praying for Charlie Kirk's family and loved ones. Also, former President Barack Obama posting this on social media. He says, we don't yet know what motivated the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk, but this kind of despicable violence has no place in our democracy. Michelle and I will be praying for Charlie's family tonight, especially his wife, Erica, and their 2 young children. With that, Sarah Martin continues our team coverage. She's at the hospital where Charlie Kirk was taken and pronounced dead. There's also a number of people that are filling in that area to show their support, right?
That's right. People have gathered all afternoon. What started as a small crowd in the early afternoon, now here at 6 o'clock, a larger crowd and still growing. I'm seeing about 50, 70 people here at this point this evening, all here to pay their respects, to share together in how much they valued Charlie in their lives, and to remember him, to remember his legacy on this very dark day. We're seeing a lot of traffic pass by as well and share their feelings, lots of honking cars, lots of beeping trucks. I have a couple with me here right now. Christine and Brian had kids at UVU today, are members of this community and who followed Charlie Kirk for a long time. Thank you for chatting with us this evening. Why are you here tonight?
Because we want people to know how grateful we are for Charlie Kirk, for his love of family and his passion for the United States of America.
Charlie is one of the rare people, I feel like, that's engaging in actual real-life civil discourse. You know, he's just not hate-mongering from one side or the other. And we were excited to have him here. And I just felt like I wanted to come down and help express that this is not what, this act does not represent my community or the people or the values that we have here. And to send a message, hopefully, to his family that he's appreciated.
We love him and always will.
You shared that one of your children was involved in kind of organizing the event. How's she doing?
She's really struggling right now. Our whole family is devastated and embarrassed for what happened here.
Yep, she'll be okay.
Do you feel like being here with others, this is what I've heard, is helping to process, you know, it's helping you to process this tragic moment?
Yes, I do. I love our community. And I love the outreach that's happening today.
When you're sitting at home and or wherever you are, and you're looking on your phone or you're looking on your other devices or watching on the television or radio, and you have that feeling that you'd really like to do something, but you can't, this is one way to do that. So it's working out for us. I don't think we've ever come and done this before, but we're here today.
You decided to show up with your whole selves.
That's right.
Christine and Brian, thank you so much for being willing to chat with us today. We're live here at Timpanogos Regional Hospital. Again, a growing crowd in support of Charlie Kirk here this evening, and we'll stick with it. Reporting live here at Timpanogos Regional, I'm Sarah Martin. Back to you.
Sarah, it's great to see that outpouring of support there at the hospital. Thank you very much. And again, throughout this newscast, I want to make sure we're clear on where the shooter, the status of the shooter stands. We know that early on, the very beginning stages, someone was taken into custody, but since released, charged, though, with taking part in a disturbance there. The other person who they took into custody has since been released within the last 30 minutes. So that's where things stand. We are still searching. They are still searching for the suspected shooter in this case. Let's head over to Alex Cabrera. He has been here since the very beginning today. And Alex, you know, you got to speak to a lot of people. And as I heard some of those interviews earlier today, we had the span of emotions from fear and anxiety to all the way anger on the other end of things.
Right, and a whole bunch of other emotions in between that, Mike. You know, today was a day that a lot of students here at UVU and a lot of young adults throughout the area, the younger crowd, they were very excited about today. Look, Utah Valley University, they get all kinds of speakers all the time. Sometimes they're controversial, sometimes they're not. But getting somebody here like Charlie Kirk, who is a big rising name against with young adults, especially on the conservative side, when he announced he was coming here to UVU, that's why thousands of people did come here to hear him speak, to hear him talk talk, to hear him address different policies, and to debate students, not only with those students who agree with him, but especially with students who don't agree with him. And that's something Charlie Kirk says he always loved to do, and it's why he went to campuses throughout the country, because he had such a good connection with that young crowd. He wanted to give them his ideas. He wanted to debate what they had to say, hoping that maybe it would broaden minds. You could see a different side of the story when we're as polarized as we are right now. Being able to spread those ideas is something he enjoyed doing. However, nobody anticipated something like this would happen. We spoke with several people who say it's just unfortunate that the freedom of speech, that a political assassination could happen just because somebody was speaking their mind.
And I pray for everybody that was here to witness this. It's awful, and I don't understand why we can't have something like this that is truly innocent. You know, there were the non-believers, the ones that didn't like him, and that's fine. But to shoot him, he doesn't deserve this.
I'm the crowd stuff.
Yeah, certainly nobody deserves something like this. Now, normally we would see a lot of students around here on campus, but that is certainly not the case right now. Instead, we're seeing a lot of what you're seeing back here, especially toward the front of the university, where we see just a lot of police officers here as they continue this investigation, continue to go through where this shooting happened, looking for any clues that might be possible to capture the person who did this. But again, just a dark day in Utah. That's what the governor said, and it's also something we've been hearing from a lot of students as well. Mike, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Alex, thank you for your coverage throughout the day. You've done an exceptional job. We appreciate that. Going to head now to Daniel Woodruff. And Daniel, you know, we talked about the beginning stages of this. Once that shot fired out, a lot of people weren't quite sure what it was, but those who knew, it was frightening.
Yeah, terrifying. In fact, we talked to multiple UVU students who were kind of on the west side of campus right afterwards. You could see the tent where Charlie Kirk had been speaking. You could see the area where students had been sitting. A lot of their personal belongings were left behind in the chaotic aftermath. I spoke with one woman who is a UVU student. She's conservative. She was just absolutely excited to come and hear Charlie Kirk speak. And she shared this with me about her reaction to what happened and just trying to process all of this.
I'm still shaking, and I'm still crying. I love Charlie Kirk. He's awesome. And I pray for him and his family. And I pray for everybody that was here to witness this. It's awful, and I don't understand why we can't have something like this that is truly innocent. You know, there were the non-believers, the ones that didn't like him, and that's fine. But to shoot him, he doesn't deserve this.
Obviously, that was the incorrect soundbite there. We have this student that I had spoken with who talked about being shaken up and just having this awful time of running for her life and wondering if everyone was going to be okay. And she just said that nobody really deserved this. And she also told me that her heart was racing incredibly fast, just because even after the fact, 2 hours later, just because of what she had seen. She saw the shooting, and it was really horrific for her. So unfortunately, we couldn't hear from her on that. It was the same woman that we had heard earlier with Alex. But UVU campus, meanwhile, is closed. It's closed now. It was put on lockdown. Students and faculty were asked to leave. And we got an update earlier today that UVU is going to remain closed until Monday. So administrative operations, classes, campus events, none of those things are going to take place until Monday, as the investigation continues, and as UVU noted, to give students who were there time to process what they went through, because many people witnessed the shooting, which ultimately led to the death of Charlie Kirk in real time. They watched it happen, and now they're left to process their emotions. Back to you.
Yeah, and Daniel, that process is going to take quite a while for some of those, especially who witnessed the actual events. So, Daniel, thank you for that insight. We continue to follow this breaking news throughout the evening. Stick around. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back as we continue our team coverage here of the shooting of political activist Charlie Kirk. Our Jody Reynosa is live here on the campus of UVU right now. And Jody, you had the chance to speak with some political leaders and community members as well. What do they have to say?
Such a tragedy, being coined a political assassination. Right now, the scene is eerily quiet, but earlier, just chaos. We talked to students who were scared, they were shocked, they were appalled. One student actually says she was in class when she, heard a stampede of students just racing down the hallway. They had to barricade themselves in the classroom. Unfortunately, the door wasn't locking, but some brave souls barricaded the door so nobody could come in. And also, this is something, as we've said before, that has reverberated around the world. In fact, we here on scene have seen people from the New York Post. He said he sat by, a CBS correspondent on the plane. So this has just really shook so many people around the nation, attracting attention here. Maybe not the attention we want here in Utah Valley, because as it's known as Happy Valley, this has not been a happy scene today at all. In fact, earlier, it was said in the press conference that we are endowed by our Creator with unalienable rights. But so many students I spoke with today didn't feel safe to even speak out or, express those rights, project those rights. Let me just take you over right here. This is an official Utah County ballot box. So right here, juxtaposition, this is a location where people can cast their votes, yet this tragedy happened. I'll send it back to you.
Jody Reynosa live for us this evening. Jody, thank you for that update. We continue our team coverage here of the shooting of Charlie Kirk here on the UVU's campus that happened earlier this afternoon. Again, just a quick recap here as we send it into you, Deanie. 2 people throughout this afternoon were taken into police custody as people of interest. They have since been released. 1 person charged with obstruction of justice. That's where things stand right now. The search continues for this shooter. We'll continue and follow it throughout the evening. Hopefully they can track he or she down quickly. Back to you.
Yes, many people echo that thought, hoping that we can bring whoever did this to justice. And in the meantime, hoping that our state can come together and heal from what, as the governor described, has been a dark day for Utah. We're going to go now to some live traffic cameras that we have in Orem tonight. We're going to be right back, actually, and we'll come back to you with some more looks of what's happening down in Orem. We'll be right back. In Orem, where you can see police cars are still on the scene, but other than that, traffic is sparse, and this is a big contrast to what it was earlier in the day as we have been covering the shooting death of activist Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. So traffic is getting through, but it is a quiet scene there now. The Utah House of Representatives organized a vigil tonight at the Capitol Rotunda in honor of Charlie Kirk. It starts at 7 o'clock. You can obviously see there's a large number of people there. Many had come earlier with signs, with tributes. Many said this was a way to make sense of today's unexplainable events. We will be right back as soon as this vigil starts.